Hey League, this is Kenny here doing the second video of the day. Two videos in one day. How lucky is everybody? Especially my family who hasn't seen me all day. I'm going to highlight a couple things. One, we're going to do the war that just ended today. We got another win, so happy about that. But I wanted to start with a flag update. And don't get too excited, Wes. I said flag. But that was a really bad joke. All right, we have a tough war matchup this war that just got set today, but we had a really bad one 2 wars ago that we lost. And while we lost by 5, it could have been closer. We kind of, I think, became a little disinterested in the end. But I was looking over this matchup. I mean, the enemy had, I think it was 6, maybe it was ended up being 7 Town Hall 11s. There was 7 wardens compared to our. I think we had 3, and Jeff and John and I spoke a little bit about it and on the chat, and we talked about how the enemy had so many more flags than us, so we couldn't understand how it got that bad. And now today we draw another one where it's just as bad. And I got to thinking about this, and I was wondering if it's possible that we did a miscalculation when we were doing our own flags. And we will look at my base. Now, I'd already originally said that my base is maxed, and that I'm not carrying any flags. Or am I? And how could I possibly have any flags? Well, one of the ways that the video that I watched that talked about the flag system, it said that you needed to, if you didn't have all the updates at the previous town hall level, you got a flag. It also said that if you didn't have all new defenses for your current town hall level, you got a flag. Well, one thing that I've not done on my base is I've not done my gear ups. And I noticed by looking at Bullet's Christian Grey base, which is Town Hall 8, he has his cannon and archer tower geared up already. That's at Town Hall 8. So does that mean that as a Town Hall 11 that I'm actually getting 2 flags because I don't have my gear ups done? And it makes me wonder if I do. I've now started these, and it's going to be fixed pretty quick. And I've talked to Zip, and Zip is doing his on all of his accounts. I'm doing it on all of my accounts. We had this conversation a couple of days ago, but now I'm seeing this pattern again in our war matchup that we got today. And I think we should do our gear ups, guys, because if you are a Town Hall 8 or higher, and that's basically everybody that we have that's doing war, you might be getting flags for that, because it says that everything was included in the gear up, which includes heroes, it includes walls, it includes everything. It includes your troop levels. So when I went to my suggested upgrades as a Town Hall 11, it was suggesting that I do my gear up, right? My gear up for my cannon and a gear up for my archer tower, and in going through the lineup in this war where we thought it was incredibly unbalanced, if you include the gear ups as something that could issue a possible flag, we had 28 flags in this war, and it was more than the enemy did. And going through and looking at our current matchup in this war that we have right now, it's the same thing. So I think we've all decided that, oh my gosh, live attack by Zip in the middle of a flag update? Air raid? What's going on, Zip? Get that sweeper down. Good. He's going to be so mad that I'm doing this. Good free spell. He's got a lot left here, actually. He's got the 2 skeletons. He's got another haste that's now down. He's got another rage. He put that down well. He's got 2 air defenses that are going to give him trouble. Well, I mean, it could have been worse. Look, Zip. You're going to get a good video in a few minutes, so don't be so upset. But let me get back to the flags for a second, guys. Do your gear ups, okay? We have not done a builder base. Our clan as a rule has really, we've all poo-pooed the builder base. We don't really like it. We're kind of old school. We like our regular base. We like war. We do the farming, and builder base has just not been our thing. I think we may have found a reason to worry about our builder base a little bit. To update the gear ups is not that hard, and it doesn't take that long. And while I can't confirm that it's hurting us, if that's something that's hurting us, that's a dumb way for us to hurt ourselves in matchups. So I would love to see everybody just do it and get it over with, and so we can move forward, and not have that be something that impacts us. So anyway, that's our flag update of the day. Let's go ahead and highlight some war attacks. So Zip turned red in his war log. In his turned himself red to be out of war for this war, and I sent him a private kick saying, "Hey, can you jump back in? We need one more." And he agreed to do it. And yeah, we should be glad that he did. Zip had a really strong war. So he had 2 attacks against max, or at least max defense Town Hall 11s, or close to it. And he pulled off 2 over 90% 2-stars, and this one here was really close to getting a 3. So he starts with a nice queen walk here, and he's moving along towards the enemy CC. CC gets drawn, gets the poison down. Everything's going pretty smooth here. He gets his wall breakers down here in a minute, and I think they might have. Yeah, the wall breakers didn't work there. Now watch this. This was a really good move here. Zip drops his rage down because he didn't have enough wall breakers to go through that wall. And as soon as the queen got in range of the Tesla, he drops his remaining 2 wall breakers down, which will be enough to get through that wall, because he used his rage spell, and boom, the wall ends up breaking open. Zip, I don't know if you did that on purpose or not, but that was really great technique. If that was something that you planned out, that was pretty cool. So anyway, now he's going around. He gets his jump down, and he gets the Valks down. He put a couple of Valks out front to take care of the 3 bombs that were there. That was seen in a scout earlier, and then he drops his remaining 7, and he's got his rage down, and the Valks easily take care of everything in that central area, and now it's just a race of the clock, and things are going down. He certainly has enough horsepower left here, but the clock is not going to be his friend. And Zip is going to fall probably about 3 to 5 seconds short. But let me tell you right now, 98% 2-star on a Town Hall 11 with a level 2 Eagle is a great raid. And so congrats, Zip. That was a nice war. Glad to get everything back on track there. That's awesome. Wanted to show, this is a Boulder Witch attack by Floor Wax. Now, we have seen that even as a Town Hall 11, going up against a Town Hall 10, if you don't do it right, things, can really go south in a hurry. This was a really good Bowler Witch attack by Floor Wax. First off, he recognizes that we have both Infernos on single set, which is, it's not good for this attack. It's not good for defending this attack. It's not good for defending a minor attack. It's not good for defending an air attack. In fact, don't have your Infernos on single set, please. But watch the funnel. First off, has he dropped a troop yet? No, its attack is going to start. Note that when this replay ends, 1 minute and 15 seconds. I mean, he obliterated this base in a hurry. But watch this awesome funnel that he sets with these 2 golems and the witches and bowlers behind it. He, whacks and he streams his bowlers across there. And they've got no place to go other than in the center. And, he gets his, I've always said this, Wax is one of the best spell droppers. B's pretty good at it too in our clan. And he just has all those bowlers and witches and his heroes in the center, and he puts them under rage, and he has a good timed warden ability. He gets that second jump spell down. He keeps everything raged, and the bowlers are just chewing through this base. And, I mean, it just obliterated. And, I'll speed it up here. I mean, he has so much left on this base. It's unbelievable. So, again, we can say, oh, that's an 11 on a 10. He should get it done. Yeah, he should. But it doesn't mean that it always happens. And that was a really, really nice attack by Wax. I'll show one more. This was the attack I did with Adam on number 5. I was really happy with this one. This is pretty much a max Town Hall 10. I say pretty much he's missing a few walls. All of his defenses are maxed. The heroes are maxed, and this is a minor attack. And guys, especially our Town Hall 10s, B has been working on using his minors. He used, I guess, what we call the B attack for a long time. And now he's transitioned to using minors with Town Hall 10s. Earl has an attack that he's done for quite some time, and it's been obviously super successful on a Town Hall 9. It's also been, oh my gosh, what a terrible thing that happened during a video. It's been super successful on 9.5s, right, with the third Expo and big walls. It just doesn't work on Infernos. And guys, I think minors is the way to go. Note the build here. Note that there was 2 hogs that were used. The hogs are simply to draw the CC. But there's a couple of things that modifications that you can use if needed. You can use wall breakers if you need to get in. You could use to get the CC. You could use hogs to draw the CC. Let's go ahead and stop this and hope that I get my signal back. There we go. So start with just your generic queen walk. Got the baby dragon just to the south, doing a lot of really good funneling. Got a lot of value out of that baby dragon. Put a wizard up here to make sure that the queen walks into the corridor here. Didn't want her skirting along the outside. Was able to not use the ability or the rage, and that was a key to this one, and we'll tell you why in a minute. So the queen is going in. The CC actually has been pulled already, and to get the poison down, get a rage down on the queen. Take care of the CC, take care of that enemy air defense before it does any damage to the healers. Now I'm going to pause it for a second here because this raid has gone on for about 1 minute, and I have thought in my head that if you were doing a minor raid, if there is 1 minute and 55 seconds left in your 3-minute attack, you got to get them down in a hurry or it's just going to be too late. So I knew that I needed to get these minors down or I was going to have a time issue on this attack. So drop the king and start the minor deployment. I wasn't really ready yet. I wanted to get the queen. I wanted to do a little bit more. But you've got about 1 minute to do a queen walk, and then you got to get everything down. So the miners are all working in the same direction. That's pretty good. I'm going to pause it here for a second. So I drop my first heal. You will notice that I have a second rage that was brought in this attack. And the reason why is because in this core area, I knew that the miners were going to be under an enormous amount of heat. We were going to have 2 sets of Inferno towers that were going to be doing work. We were going to have an enemy Barbarian King. We were going to have an Expo and any Teslas that show up. So sometimes, while the book kind of says that you should just bring healers for these things, but I've found that if you have a really heavily concentrated area of defenses like this, that you are better off using a rage and a heal in combination with each other, because the rage gets the miners through all the defenses and everything so quickly that I actually think they get healed more with 1 heal than they would with 2 if they're in fact under rage. So let's see how that works out here. The rage spell is now down, and the miners there's even a lot of skeletons that came up there. So they're dealing with that. They get the town hall, they get the Inferno, more skeletons come out. I have 1 more heal spell. I believe it goes down here in just a second. It does, and we'll see now if this is going to be enough. The Queen is still doing some good work and gets that second Inferno tower. That was real big. And there's about a minute left. There's a decent amount of miners left. The healers I still have 2 healers up. The Queen is about to go down, and boom, the bomb takes her out. And the healers transfer over to the miners. And at this point, I knew that I had enough miners left to get down the remaining defenses. It was just going to be a question of whether or not there was enough time on the clock. Luckily, I had a few archers that were over there taking care of some of those exterior buildings. And I got by with about a second, maybe 2 seconds left on this base. But this was Town Hall 10 versus Town Hall 10. I did a video earlier today that highlighted one of B's attacks on a Town Hall 10. Again, using miners. So, guys, I really do think that miners are the way to go in doing these Town Hall 10 versus Town Hall 10 attacks. So, anyway, let's talk about it in the chat if you have questions. Maybe do some friendly challenges. I also think, the miners are a really great way to get loot at Town Hall 10 as well. So practice it, right? So, I think one of the reasons why B and I have had a little bit of success recently with Town Hall 10s and minor raids is because we've been raiding with them for about a month or so now, maybe more. And so you get used to them, and you get used to the timing of them, and you get used to the how far out your spell should go in leading them, and the timing on how long the miners are staying up against Infernos and all those things. And so it really just makes a really big difference. I got no giants for you, Jeff. Oh well. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a good night, and hope you enjoyed this video.